Killer Mike was left speechless and is currently trying to pretend it didn't happen. So here's the original post says, and I'm talking about from the lady.
Right.
The lady. Matter of fact, let's go back a little bit. Desmond Hardy says Atlanta has always catered to the black bourgeoisie at the expense of poor black folks who are despised with the same rancor that poor whites are hated by middle-class whites.
Whoa. The one thing I would say about that, I've been to Atlanta, but I don't know anything about, because regions are different.
Yeah.
I would argue that's the case everywhere.
Like, yeah,
and ain't just Atlanta.
But no, I think he's pointing out about Atlanta because Atlanta gets romanticized as far as black people.
Got you. That makes sense.
So Atlanta's black leadership and black celebrities has done nothing to ameliorate conditions for the poor folk. Someone responds to him, a black woman, says, always. So it's offensive when people like Tip, T.I., and Killer Mike call it Wakanda. Killer Mike quote tweets that tweet to say, I have never called ATL Wakanda. I call Atlanta in all caps. I also remind blacks it has been an economic fort for blacks since the Atlanta Conference in the early 1900s. Please, this is the part I love.
Okay.
Please fact check when criticizing or risk being called stupid and a liar. Be well, don't lie.
Don't do
Black
that.
power. Here's the thing. Gotta get a little stretch in. Whenever I'm about to do some heavy lifting.
Boy.
So
Killer Mike's a good guy. So yeah.
Killer Mike. I have long had issues with certain things that Killer Mike promotes and pushes. And because I do not have the time nor the interest to go so deeply into a lot of the things that he talks about, I shut the fuck up.
Right.
Because I'm not educated enough on these particular things that just hit wrong to me. To borrow a phrase from Kalina, in my spirit, I just know some of these things he's saying don't really work. But just like Kalina, I have no way to prove it currently. So unlike Kalina, I'm not going to attack that. I'm chilling. I'm gonna shut the fuck up because I have no way. I don't belong in this conversation.
It's what's for dinner. I wish more people did that.
It's not. Listen, I'm different. Apparently,
it's different.
So I've always kept him
at arm's length.
Yeah, I know that. I ain't gonna say I know that. There's a portion of what he speaks of that rings in him being genuinely interested and caring about the well-being of Black people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that part I'm riding with. So to call him before this, to call him disingenuous, I wasn't hearing.
Right.
I wasn't allowing that because I had seen nothing to suggest that was anywhere near the case.
Right.
You know, they say don't meet your heroes. Again, he's not quite a hero for me. But again, above all else, he had that. He had that where I would never call him disingenuous.
Well, so also you didn't know him, and absolutely. I would argue that being disingenuous, there are some people where that's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But the average person, it's just a hobby.
Right. They dabble.
They dabble. The average person dabbles in being disingenuous, but there are some people, and we know them, especially these public figures, that it's a lifestyle.
The one who shall not be named specifically.
Yes.
But anyway, so I read this tweet, and he's saying, please fact check when criticizing or risk being called stupid and a liar. So what did I do?
What did you
I tried to fact check. I went to Google.
Devin, I agree with you, by the way, Devin. He says he hasn't fouled enough about him, but he does know he got used a bit by some white Sanders supporters, and he says he himself was a Sanders supporter in a way that felt somewhat token to me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like that to me too, bro.
Yeah, I'll absolutely give you that. 1,000%.
It definitely felt like that.
So I did, as he suggested, some fact checking.
Right.
Because it's an odd claim. It's odd and relatively frivolous.
It really is.
For her to have made this up. So I listened to Killer Mike. Fact checking.
Right.
Fact checking. And this is what I found.
So if I'm a black kid that grew up in Atlanta. And in Atlanta, everything is possible for black kids, right? So I never really had a box to keep me in my imagination.
Why would that be? Explain that.
I mean, because Atlanta's Wakanda for real.
Hold up, shush. Here we go.
Kids, right? So I never really had a box to keep me in my imagination.
Why would that be? Explain that.
I mean, because Atlanta's Wakanda for.
Okay.
Oh no.
Now. I know what some of you might be saying, because as humans, we do this hero worship thing. And if you somehow stumbled across the Black Culture Geekz podcast, there's a possibility that you know who Killer Mike is, and a decent amount of the shit that he puts out, you're with. So you might be like, oh, but that was just a joke. That's possible, right? Number one, I have never called Atlanta Wakanda. That I have.
No.
Never.
It's even deeper than that, because now hearing the quote, he said it's Wakanda for real.
For these reasons, for the reasons that she has a problem with, for the romanticism. I can't
when
say
he
that.
said romanticization. When he said everything is possible in Atlanta for all the black kids.
Yep.
It was cringy because that's not
how that works.
That's not true anywhere on the planet for any group.
Right.
For any group. That's not so. And then, of course, he didn't just. I was under the impression he was like, "Oh, Atlanta's Wakanda." No. He said he built it up with any kid can do anything, so I ain't had the boxes, and then he ended it with Wakanda for real.
Yeah. Okay, but wait. There's more.
Grew up in a totally black city, essentially. It was over 50% black. The leadership was black. The police chief was black. My teachers was black. Schools was named for black people. I grew up in an economically integrated neighborhood, the Collier Heights. So our schools were a little better. So people like me and T.I. learned how to use big words.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Did you realize how special Atlanta was back then as far as like having all that black representation?
I did. Okay. Because my family's from the deep South.
All right.
When you get shipped to the country in the summers, then you understand how lucky you are, how fortunate. But most of my friends didn't. They didn't have any idea. So I grew up really with us in power. I grew up in Wakanda. But growing up in Wakanda, I got a chance to see we do good and bad.
Oh, completely different interview. Completely different set of circumstances.
Completely different context.
Yeah, but he says the same thing. He says it again. Atlanta is Wakanda.
Yeah. And actually, if you really like take apart a lot of the stuff he was saying, he basically was saying the same thing he said in that first interview.
Yeah,
He said, me and T.I. got to learn how to use big words first. I would argue.
I don't know if you quite learned how to use them.
Yeah, like
you might have learned how to pronounce them.
There are times when the word T.I. uses fits whatever, because it's like a shotgun thing. There's a lot of pellets. It's going to hit something, right? But a lot of those times, no. No, absolutely not.
Simply not.
No.
Simply not. So not only what up, Paul?
What's up, Napalm?
Yo, so not only that, attached to that last video came from an Instagram post, and the caption on that Instagram post typed by Killer Mike, he shared it on his Instagram. The caption reads, hashtag Atlanta is hashtag Wakanda, with an exclamation point. Clearly he said it. We have two videos.
He said it, yo.
Two separate videos of him saying it.
He said it.